Hello everyone, this is Princess here, and for today's video we're going to talk about the next force weapon, which is going to be for Warrior of Light. We're also going to go over his Intertwined Will and the Shinryu for his Intertwined Will. So let's get started. So Warrior of Light's force weapon is called the Journey of Light, and this grants the force time Soul of Light, and his force partner is Preesh. So it's a 6-hit AoE Brave split HP attack dealt 4 times. This will inflict lock to all enemies for 5 turns and grants shield to the party for 8 turns. So for the bonus, so you get HP damage up and max Brave cap up by 50% per individual with an active shield buff. And as for his damage bonus, so you get 40% when Brave damage is reduced or absorbed by a buff, which is once per turn. 10% when any party member is buffed with a shield. This is per shield on a party and then once per turn. And then 20% when an enemy attacks Warrior of Light. So overall, he has some really easy force conditions to fill out, and it's pretty easy to get it up to max, and if you're letting the bosses get a lot of turns. So with that being said, let's move on to the boss. So you're going to be fighting 2 different bosses. First up is going to be Garland, and his attacks are pretty much the same. It's just Round Edge and Soul of Chaos. And then the next boss that you fight with him is going to be the Vein Mannequin. So here's the Vein Mannequin over here, and then here's just his attacks. So he's got Mock Wave and then Force of Will. And I should note, Force of Will is going to force a break. So just, it's not dangerous, but like if you can find a way around it though, then yeah, you don't have to worry too much about it. The big thing that I do want to mention is that for this fight, Garland and the Vein Mannequin are going to have this, like an effect, you could say. It's called a Darkness Increase to the max. And what it is it's a red aura that will boost their attack and their defense, but you can cancel this out if you use Warrior of Light's Force. So moving on to the boss's force gauge. So for their weakness, you want to use a ranged force that can inflict lock, which is what Warrior of Light's force does. And then for their gauge, for their force gauge, it's pretty much the same as the moths in Seven's Heretic. So they lower your speed by 50% for the whole fight, and then at 2 out of 5, or like by 50%, they will lower your turn rate by 50%. And then when their force gauge is full, so it kind of depends on who's going to be on the in the map, I guess. So if Garland is still alive, he will use Round Edge ++, and if it's the Vein Mannequin, he will use Tree of Saphira ++. Both of their force times will delay you by 1 turn, and it raises their HP damage, but their force time is just going to be 3 turns, and then each time you act, your turn will be delayed by 1. So this is another stage where you can easily take off-turn damage, so like using someone like Reno, Gladio, Core, or Galuf, and you can just prioritize on like forces that like rely on enemy turns. So if you're using Reno, like I mentioned, or if you're using Rydia, Warrior of Light also works for this. So yeah, that works. And you can also use Chorus Force for this. That's what I use for this. So with that being said, we're going to head over to JP now, and I'm going to showcase Warrior of Light's Force. I will be right back. Alright, so we're back on JP. So here's just a little overview of the map for Warrior of Light's Intertwined Will. You're going to start over here, and then make your way to the end, which is right over here. So moving on, so here is my Warrior of Light over here. He does not have his Burst Plus, but he does have his Force on him, which is right over here. So now we're just going to go into the fight, and I will showcase what his force does. So give me a quick second. Alright, so I swapped over to the Chaos fight for this, just so the force gauge would be at max. But here is Soul of Light. As for the reason for why Preesh and Warrior of Light are force partners, it has to do with their interaction in Dissidia. Dissidia Duodecim, I believe. So as you can see, we have the everyone's got a shield up, and they have the lock buff on them as well, or on the enemies. So the force gauge, the damage bonus should go up after this. Yep, there it goes. It goes up by like 33%. So like I mentioned, the requirements for the damage bonus are really easy because Warrior of Light can just fill them all out. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Sorry, I'm kind of blanking out. But yeah, as long as you have him in the party, and if you're using his force, it's going to be easy to get the force gauge up because he can fill out all the requirements by himself, as well as other party members if they have a shield active. So that is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys very much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let me know if you will be pulling for Warrior of Light's force, and I will see you all next time.